We made it by this much. Happy Monday, everybody. The 27th day of July, 2026 is upon us. I am Dan Kuntz for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Beautiful morning. We don't have a red flag warning. We don't have a fire weather watch. The air is clear, but we got fires. It's getting harder and harder to find a sizable piece of real estate in north central Washington that isn't on fire. We'll give you some updates on some of the fires that sparked up. There's a new fire up Bridgeport Way, the Little Giant Fire, and the Chihuahua River Basin. It took off over the weekend. We had the cool air come in, that dry cold front. We still have some cool air with us. The afternoon high temperatures will be about normal. We should be okay as far as red flag warnings, our fire weather watches for most of this week. The weekend is looking a little dicey because we're going to start warming up. We're going to have a pretty warm weekend. All those details are coming up, and we will have information on 5 different wildfires when we get to the news in just a couple minutes. Mariners really needed to win yesterday, and thanks to Dom Canzone, they did. Highlights of a critical Mariner victory. They play again this morning, by the way, against the Rangers. We'll have that. And live in this studio, the chair is right next to me, but you can't see it because through the miracle of technology, we can chroma key it out. Mike Magnotti will be joining me live this morning because why not? Just can't get enough of Mike. Of course, he has a Street Talk and other stuff show coming up at 10 o'clock this morning live. I figure, hey, he's going to be live at 10. Come in early, Mike, and we'll have some fun on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'll have to buy him breakfast. Small price to pay. At 2 minutes after the hour, let's see what we're looking like. And we're looking pretty good. For the first time in a while, this is what we get to see on the weekdays. We had some pretty bad air most of last week, but look, you can see Birch Mountain all the way to the top. You can see Badger Mountain up there. Of course, the days are getting considerably shorter. You can tell now. Sunrise this morning was at 5:33. Sunset tonight will be at 8:41. That's 15 hours and 8 minutes of daylight. That's 2 minutes and 26 seconds shorter than Sunday. 1 month ago on this date in June, we had 15 hours and 56 minutes of daylight. So we lost about 45 minutes of daylight in about a month. There is the Hay Canyon camera. That is zoomed back quite a bit. Look how blue the sky looks today. That's a nice thing to see. It's a nice, comfortable morning. It's going to be a nice, comfortable midsummer's day today, although it's going to get a little breezy at times off and on through the course of the week. The Arundel Rock camera chimes in. Again, I look back to what we were looking at last week when you couldn't even see Turtle Rock with all the really bad air, especially in the Aniat area. I say that because we're looking at Lake Aniat, but everybody is breathing clean air. That is a shot of the Little Giant Fire. That green strip that you see down there, that is the Lake Wenatchee airstrip adjacent to Fish Lake. So that's the Nanapoc Ridge Fire, Nanapoc Ridge camera, I should say. And we have that pointed almost directly due north. The Little Giant Fire really made a significant run, lots of fire activity over the weekend there. And of course, that's burning in very heavy timber in some pretty inaccessible terrain. But that's what it looks like up there in the Little Giant Fire. Well, again, updates on that coming up. A couple of slides to show for you. Temperatures this week, as you can see, pretty comfortable. Not bad at all. You see that 62-degree mark for Wenatchee. That's where we are right now. It's quite comfortable. We'll be just a little bit below normal. Normal high is 90. We'll be a little bit below normal. We'll be slightly above normal by the time we get to Friday. So all in all, temperatures are going to be pretty comfortable. Chelan looks pretty nice indeed. Moses Lake, no real issues there. Omak, always a little bit warmer. And they will be. We show you these slides every once in a while for you folks in our viewing area who don't actually live in the Wenatchee Valley. For most of this week, no real issues, no red flags. We don't think so anyway. Of course, the National Weather Service can change their mind, but they're a little worried about Saturday. It's not going to be too hot on Saturday. It'll be the lower 90s anyway, which is about normal, but things are going to get a little breezy on Saturday, and the relative humidity is going to go down there. Right now, the relative humidity isn't too bad at all. We don't get humid air around here, but we take what we can get. So for the rest of the week, we're looking okay, we think. But Saturday, they got a little worried there. I can understand that. All right, from the National Weather Service, well, what do we have? How about sunshine today? And a high of 89. Again, we don't have an air quality alert. It's actually very clean air right now. A little wind tonight, not too bad. West wind about 7 to 13 miles an hour. Still under the influence of that cold front that came in over the weekend. So we'll get down to 63. Again, our normal high is 90. We're not going to quite get there until we get to about Thursday. It is going to be a little breezy Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday evening. I want to give you a heads up on that, but pretty cool temperatures, pretty nice, comfortable temperatures. Might even be able to give your air conditioner a break come Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. A gradual warming trend. The hottest day of the week is going to be Friday, and then we cool down, relative speaking, on Saturday, but the winds will be picking up. It'll be quite breezy on Saturday and Saturday night, but it is nice to be able to breathe the air again. I am in favor of that. Going to take a break and come back with a lot of fire coverage. You're watching a Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
The Surf and Slide Water Park is open from Memorial Day through Labor Day. Surf and Slide is located in the heart of Central Washington in Moses Lake with activities for all ages and abilities. Check out Surf and Slide's Flow Rider Surfing Simulator, Lazy River, 2 200-foot water slides, tube slides, and diving boards. Our children's area includes a Treasure Island water structure, splash pad, and baby octopus slide. For season passes, visit us online or find Surf and Slide on Facebook.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether,
we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
It's quite comfortable, 63 degrees, no air quality issues, no red flag warning, no fire weather watch. You just saw what's going on up at the Little Giant fire. And let's start with the Little Giant fire because that's the one that's not only closest to us, but that's the one that had the most significant activity since we last visited on the weekend. The Little Giant fire went towards Rampart Mountain, Garland Peak, and downslope into Garland Creek and Chapito Creek over the weekend. For the west side of the Little Giant fire, the fire continued to move upslope on Chihuahua Ridge. It went over the top of that slope and headed into the Aniat River Valley there. That helped slow the fire spread. The south side of the fire, they got lucky because, well, they ran into vegetation, not much, and rocks, which don't burn. So that slowed the fire spread in that direction. The south side of the fire is what they're working on the most. That's the part that is getting a little bit too close for you folks up the Aniat Valleyway. So they got firefighters on it and dozers, and they're improving containment lines in the Tommy Creek area and in the Aniat area and preparing for another day of active fire activity. It's burning in some pretty steep terrain and some pretty dense forest. Up to Bridgeport we go. The Pearl Hill fire, that started on Saturday afternoon. That's about 6,000 acres in size. It's about 10 miles away from Bridgeport. It's burning in grass and brush and agricultural lands. So it's not burning in forest, but the terrain is still pretty steep near the Columbia River. They're working on that. Again, that's the Pearl Hill fire. This broke out about 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. How that one got started, we don't know. The Ptarmigan fire has been a sleeper fire that they knew was up there near Mazama, about 25 miles northwest of Mazama. That was started by lightning on July 17th. It took off a little bit, but not too bad. It's 0% contained, but there's no evacuation notices because there's really nothing or no one up there. It's very remote territory up between Mazama and the Canadian border. That's about 2,500 acres in size. The big one, of course, has been the one that's been burning since July 16th. That's the Kaiser Canyon fire, 121,417 acres. That's 189 square miles that's been burned. That's the size of like 2 Seattles. It was originally yesterday at 13% contained. They backed off on that to a 9% containment. There's still some level 3 evacuations on the Kaiser Canyon fire along Highway 155, both sides of that highway, from the Coyote Creek campground to Haley Creek, and then south to Haley Creek Road, and then south to Omak Lake Road, to the Columbia River Road, and then south to the Cartar Valley Road, and then ahead of the Cartar Road and Coyote Creek Road, Jackson Ranch area, level 3 evacuation north to the Mill Creek area, to Buffalo Lake Road on down the line, and the Nespelium Agency. They're still concentrating on making sure nothing happens to the town of Nespelium. But this is the big one, and this is the one that's been causing quite a bit of smoke. They'll be doing what they can today. The fact that there's very little wind in the forecast is going to help a lot. And good news on the Modrite fire, that is now at a 63% containment because it found a natural barrier. Lake Roosevelt, that's been burning since July 17th, 9,107 acres. To our knowledge, 5 structures have been lost in that fire that you see on your screen right now. They're going to do a lot of patrol and holding the fire lines, mopping up to the east and the west on the south and west sides of the fire. So, and of course, they are doing some structural protection as well. So there's good news. That one is at least 63% contained, and hopefully, if they have a good day today, they can up that to close to 80 or 85%. There is other news. The Washington State Public Disclosure Commission unanimously affirmed its decision on Thursday to enforce a fine if the sponsor of the Wenatchee record continues to violate state campaign laws. Our own Jordan Gonzalez sat through the hearing, and she filed this report.
The Washington State Public Disclosure Commission unanimously affirmed its decision on Thursday to enforce a fine if the sponsor of the Wenatchee record continues to violate state campaign laws. The commission heard the appeal of Glenn Dobbs, who was represented virtually by his lawyer Connor Edwards, during a hybrid, regularly scheduled meeting. Dobbs paid for and was the editor of the Wenatchee Record, a twice-published political mailer resembling a newspaper that targeted the Wenatchee School District both times before upcoming elections. The action stems from the second edition of the Wenatchee Record, which was sent in January 2025, a month before the district's upcoming levy election.
Mr. Dobbs' disagreement with the Wenatchee School District actually has very little to do with the levy. The purpose of the mailer was to criticize the operation of the school district. It was not to appeal for or against votes on the levy.
In June, the PDC fined Dobbs $1,000 for failing to file a timely independent expenditure report and for failing to include a sponsor's name and address on political advertising. The fine was suspended as long as Dobbs filed an independent expenditure report and committed no further violations for a period of 4 years. The first edition of the Wenatchee Record was also subject to a complaint investigation with the PDC after it was released in 2023.
This is not Mr. Dobbs' first encounter with the PDC. In 2024, staff dismissed the case and issued a written warning to Mr. Dobbs based on his failure to disclose an independent expenditure related to an earlier version of the Wenatchee Record. Since here, Mr. Dobbs engaged in what is essentially the same misconduct only a year later, it was entirely reasonable for staff to proceed with enforcing the law against him and seeking an appropriate penalty. The $1,000 penalty imposed by the presiding officer is, with the entire amount suspended, was reasonable given the circumstances of the case and well within the commission's authority to impose under the relevant statutes and regs. So for that reason, again, staff encourages you to affirm the initial order and adopt it as the final order in this matter.
And what's the old saying around north central Washington? There are 2 seasons, winter and road under construction. Well, they're going back to work on that stretch of highway, basically between Kashmir all the way to the Don Sem Memorial Interchange, and they go back to work today. So you're going to be tied up quite a bit. That 5-mile section, basically between milepost 109 to the Don Sem interchange. They're going at it again today. So single lane, flyer control traffic, shoulder closers from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Thursday. They don't work on Fridays. This week they're going to be working on building out some sidewalks and ramps at that interchange of US 2 and US 97. We're all familiar with that. They're also going to be doing some repaving. A big stretch of highway, a 4-mile stretch of highway between milepost 105 to 109. That's going to be the week of August 3rd. This project, by the way, is probably going to last all the way into autumn anyway. And starting today, they're ripping down the Handsome Road overpass. That's near Moses Lake. It's been closed for about a year and a half. Well, they got to take it down and replace it. So if you're in that area in Moses Lake on I-90 in either direction, you're going to be slowed down there. Heads up. That is what's going on this Monday, and they'll be gathering in the newsroom to do what they do, which is put together a newscast at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight, 5, 6, and 10, the NCW Life Evening News. It's also on at 5:30 and 6:30. I don't know why I keep forgetting that. It'll be on YouTube right around 5 o'clock, give or take a couple. We're on all the platforms that you see on your screen. Don't forget we stream 24/7, 365 on our website, ncwlife.com. If you got a news tip, send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. Mariners absolutely really needed to win yesterday, and they did. Highlights are next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
How are things going with your parenting plan?
Amanda and I decided to do mediation with the Colombian Basin Dispute Resolution Center. We really wanted to avoid the costly attorney fees.
I didn't even know mediation was an option.
Yeah, they even train people to become mediators. They did such a good job, I'm actually considering taking the training myself.
I'm so happy for you guys. When parents work together, it seems everyone is happier.
Their mediators really listen to your wants and needs. I'm really happy with the outcome. Coming, buddy.
Chelan PUD works hard year-round to reduce fire risk and provide dependable service for our customers. But when extreme fire weather is forecasted, we may resort to a public safety power shutoff, turning off power to a specific area in order to prevent fire. In this rare event, we'll keep you informed before, during, and after the shutoff. To stay prepared and check if you're in a PSPS zone, visit chelanpud.org/PSPS.
Whether you're building from the ground up or transforming your space with a custom remodel, One Way Construction is your trusted partner in creating a home that's uniquely yours. Your dream home is just a call away. Schedule your free consultation and let's build something amazing together.
Let's do some sports at 19 minutes after the hour. Back-to-back home runs by Dominic Canzone and Randy Arozarena in the top of the 7th inning put the Mariners ahead for good, and they snuck out with a 6-4 victory over the Rangers yesterday in Arlington. In fact, Canzone was the hero. We rode his back. He had 3 hits and 4 RBIs, and it was Seattle's first win this season against the Rangers in Texas.
Just finding ways lately. Duran. And he'll shoot that one out towards center field. That hangs up for Rodriguez. Deep enough, though, that Peterson can tag. He heads to the plate. A sac fly by Ezekiel Duran, and the Rangers have that first run of the ball game.
Oh, boy, die hero.
This is not caught. Langford went sliding after it, but it drops in front of him, and Julio parks a base hit into left field. It scores Cole Young, and the Mariners have evened things up in the third.
Well, this will certainly put a smile on your face. He gets deep in the kitchen of Julio, but he's so strong he's able to get it out there to the outfield grass. His ball comes right under the glove.
And he hits this one out over second. That's a base hit. Nimmo around third. They'll wave him. Here he comes. Here comes a throw. Not in time. And to third base goes Berger. Evan Carter delivers a huge hit with a runner in scoring position, and the Rangers move back in front.
Well, the Rangers are playing such good team baseball, especially offensively in this series.
Lopez in a hole 0-2. And hits this one up the middle. Diving, stopped by Young, but his flip goes wide. A run scores. Lopez safe at first. Carter stands safe at second. 3-1. Here's his 3-2. And that is out to left field. Long run for Langford, but he'll reach up and make the catch. Full stride into that corner. 2 away. What a nice catch by Wyatt Langford.
Boy, with a guy playing at about 70% today with his foot, he gets a good read and he grits his teeth, runs to this ball as hard as he can, and then leaps at the end to make a really nice play and then gather himself as he hits the wall.
The 2-0. Oh, there it goes! Absolutely crushed! Dom Canzone flips the script! A screamer to right field! 4-3 Mariners in the 7th.
And it's the young left-hander who steps up at the right time to give this Mariner ball club a shot in the arm. Wow, that ball left the park quickly.
Rosarena deep right center.
Hello.
And it disappears. Back to back. Canzone and Rosarena. It's 5-3 Mariners.
Randy Rosarena, boy,
That's
jumping
real
on the
power.
very first pitch, pounding it out there to right center field.
That's real power too, Val, because that's a long way out there. 410. Woo.
There's a swing and a deep drive. It's gone! Rangers had a little problem. Down by 2. But the solution stepped in and makes it a 1-run game.
His nickname is the solution. Right now, Davey might be the demoralizer. This one, a hanging breaking ball. You hang it, Duran bangs it out of the park at 106 exit velo.
This is fair, and it rolls into the corner. Julio is into third, being waved home, headed to the plate, and the Mariners tack on a little insurance. Dom Canzone called game here in Texas. 1-2. That's the ball game. Slider finishes things off. Munoz strikes out the side in order, and Dom Canzone may have just saved everything for the Mariners today.
Well, you felt the big sigh of relief when that ball hit the seats off the bat of his Canzone. The Mariners needed somebody, anybody, to step up with a big game. And today it was Dom Canzone.
Mariners will try and salvage a split. It's a morning game, by the way, 11:35 on Mariners.tv. George Kirby will toe the rubber for the Mariners. Scoreboard for the American League West yesterday with the Mariners' victory over the Rangers. They're now within a game and a half of Texas for first in the American League West. Astros got creamed by the White Sox. Houston falls 2 games out of first. The Athletics are now 9 games out of first place. They got beat by the Twins, and the Angels beat the Giants, but they're still 11.5 games out. I went back and looked. I don't think the Wenatchee Apple Sox had lost a series this year until this weekend. They beat the Bells on Friday night at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium, doubled them up, as a matter of fact, 10-5, but Bellingham got the better of them both Saturday, an 11-10 victory, and yesterday an 18-5 victory. So the Apple Sox actually lose 2 of 3. You don't see that very often. To the West Coast League scoreboard we go. Your winners yesterday: Nanaimo over Port Angeles. Edmonton defeated Kelowna. There's Kamloops over Victoria. Walla Walla, a town so nice they named it twice. They beat Portland. Corvallis over Yakima Valley. Ridgefield slaughtered Bend, and Marion over Springfield. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. Today's holiday, take your pants for a walk day today. I'm not wearing pants. I'm wearing shorts because it's, it's summertime. And so I thought, well, we'll just do a little history of pants. I don't know what the history of pants is. I did find out about denim, which is my preferred jean to wear. Denim was invented in Italy in the 16th century. They needed something durable for the Italian sailors to wear because you would go weeks on end without changing clothes. But it was Levi Strauss and his partner Jacob Davis who made denim a little more durable because they used rivets to hold all the pieces of the pants together, and it made the pants very durable. The birth of the blue jean, they got a patent for it. And of course, it made Levi Strauss, anyway, really, really rich. And this fun fact I came across when I was looking about the history of pants, apparently men tend to wear their pants at their highest point at the age of 57. As you get older, you have to hike up the pants a little bit. 57, that is the age, and then as you get older, apparently the pants go lower again. I don't know who does this research. Wasn't me, but it was on the internet, so it's true. Happy 86th birthday to Bugs Bunny. July 27th, 1940, the animated short A Wild Hare, yes, it was Elmer Fudd hunting Bugs Bunny, marks the debut of the character of Bugs Bunny. So Bugs Bunny has a birthday. It's today in 1940. I have fun facts about Bugs Bunny. His real first name is Keith. Few people know that. Bugs Bunny does not actually live in a hole in the ground. Bugs Bunny has a rather palatial estate in the Hollywood Hills. Bugs Bunny divorced his first wife after she became romantically involved with Foghorn Leghorn. Bet you didn't know that. And Bugs Bunny once shot out a TV screen when Elvis's face appeared on it. Happy 86th birthday. What's up, Doc? To Bugs Bunny. The Korean War came to an end, and a lot of people consider like the forgotten war, unless you were in it. 73 years ago today, the hostilities ceased. Now they're still technically at war. I think you all know that, because they didn't sign a peace treaty. They signed an armistice. The United States, China, and North Korea. Now, the president of South Korea didn't sign it. Syngman Rhee said, I'm not going to sign it, but he said, I will adhere to the armistice agreement. I will observe it, but I'm not going to sign it. And it was over. The numbers are sobering. Of the United Nations forces, 170,000 dead, 162,000 South Koreans, 36,574 Americans killed or missing in action. An additional 5,000 soldiers from other countries as part of the UN died in those hostilities, and 566,000 soldiers were wounded on the United Nations side. As far as the North Koreans and Communist China, we don't know because they didn't keep track of these things real good. The best estimates of the North Korean and combined Chinese forces, anywhere between 400,000 dead and 600,000 dead, and about 145,000 North Korean soldiers or Chinese soldiers went missing, not to be heard from again. The Korean War kind of came to an end 73 years ago today. Major League Baseball was dragging his feet for expansion. There were a lot of towns who wanted a Major League team. Houston and the Twin Cities and Denver and Toronto. They all wanted teams, and so a bunch of guys got together and said, we'll just take on Major League Baseball. The Continental League is announced as the third Major League. It would join the American League, the National League, and the Continental League. William Shea was its chairman. The first thing he wanted to do was bring professional baseball back to New York City, because after the Dodgers and the Giants left, all that was left was the Yankees. Planned cities for the Continental League, which would launch in 1961, were New York City, Houston, which ended up getting a franchise, Denver, which ended up getting a franchise, Toronto, which ended up getting a franchise, and the Twin Cities, which ended up getting a franchise. 11 other cities said, we want in too. What it did is it woke up Major League Baseball, and they said, yeah, maybe we should expand. Since the Continental League said we're going to launch in 1961, they got off their tush and started to expand. They did it in 61 in the American League and the National League in 62, and then again in 67 and 69 and on down the line. And by the way, the one thing that did come out of it, Shea Stadium. William Shea promised they would build a stadium for the new New York team in Queens, and they did, but the Continental League never really got going. The Major League record for errors by a pitcher in one inning, the record is 3. On this date in 1988 at Yankee Stadium, Tommy John tied the record on one play. Here you go. Tommy pitching, Jeffrey Leonard hitting. Tommy fields the ball, he bobbles it, error number 1, throws it away from Don Mattingly, error number 2. The base runner scores, Jeffrey Leonard is running. Here comes a relay throw. Tommy John throws wide of the catcher Rick Cerrone. Jeffrey Leonard, who hit the ball about 15 feet, comes all the way around to score. So the Major League record for most errors by a pitcher in one inning is 3. Tommy John accomplished that with one play. By the way, the Yankees won 16-3. And I know a number of people who don't like to go to air shows. It's too loud for them, and they feel pretty uncomfortable with these big fighter jets and all kinds of different planes flying really close to the ground. And maybe it's because of what happened on this day 24 years ago in the Ukraine. An Su-27 Soviet fighter crashed. It killed 77 people. 500 were injured. It's the deadliest air show disaster in history, as you might imagine. Here's a contemporary news report from 24 years ago.
The state-of-the-art Russian Su-27 jet fighter apparently lost power during high-speed maneuvers at the air show in the western Ukraine near the Polish border. The aircraft exploded on impact into the crowded perimeter of the main runway. Local reporters say airshow officials as well as spectators are among the dead. The impact left wreckage scattered over a wide area, with shocked spectators trying to treat the injured and carry away the dead. Airport officials say the 2 pilots ejected from the jet moments before the crash. An official inquiry has been launched into the cause of the disaster. The Su-27 is known as the Flanker and is the Russian Air Force's most sophisticated fighter. It has inbuilt fly-by-wire capabilities designed to prevent the loss of control during high-speed diving maneuvers.
That was on this date in 2002. Let's do some birthdays. The man who permanently changed American television by bringing All in the Family to the United States, Norman Lear. Born in the state in 1922. He lived a long time, died a couple of years ago at the age of 101. So, All in the Family, The Jeffersons, Maude, Good Times, One Day at a Time. He ended up producing producing or executive producing or creating something like 30 television series, and he done good. Norman Lear, born in the state in 1922. The legendary Peggy Fleming is 78 years old today. The United States won 1 gold medal at the 1968 Winter Olympics, and it was Peggy Fleming who won it. It was the only gold medal won by this country at the 1968 Winter Olympics, and she won it in figure skating. Peggy Fleming is 78 years old today. Alex Rodriguez is 51, still not particularly popular in Seattle, but the stats speak for themselves. 14-time an All-Star, 3,115 career hits. He finished 4 home runs shy of 700. His 25 career Grand Slam home runs are the most of all time. He gets some support for the Hall of Fame. They inducted 3 new members of the Hall of Fame yesterday, but he hasn't gotten close yet. A-Rod is 51 years old today. I think Max Scherzer is pretty much guaranteed to go into the Hall of Fame. He's 42 years old today, and he's starting tonight for the Blue Jays. Good for Max. He is the youngest pitcher to ever beat all 30 Major League Baseball teams. He's won the Cy Young Award 3 times. He pitched 2 no-hitters in the year 2015, 8 times an All-Star, won the World Championship with the Nationals, and he has that weird eye thing, as you can see. His right eye is blue and his left eye is brown. I'm trying to remember what it's called, header or something or other. Max Scherzer still pitching rather effectively at the age of 42. And Jordan Spieth, this guy was everything in golf 10 years ago. What's happened to you, Jordan? He's only 33. Of course, he won the 2015 U.S. Open and the 2015 Masters and the Open Championship in 2017, but he's been struggling lately. Still a crowd favorite, though. Jordan Spieth, he's only 33. He'll be back. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. You might have a chance this week with the cooler temperatures to maybe turn off your AC and give it a break. I'm told you're supposed to do that every now and again, and it might be a good time to have the folks at Alpine Air come up and check it out just to make sure when it gets hot again, and it will, it can handle the workload. We're going to take a break. Mike Magnotti has an opinion, and then Mike Magnotti will be here live. Why, I don't know. It's coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
NCW Life Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Community is more than just a place. It's the people, stories, and connections we share. At the Wenatchee World, we're your neighbors, your storytellers, and your trusted voice. From uncovering the issues that matter most to celebrating the moments that bring us together. We deliver the stories that keep the community moving forward. The Wenatchee World, your community voice, here every day.
Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, Dan Kuntz, the host of this show, Wake Up Wenatchee, keeps nagging me to provide him with these opinions. Now, I need new ones, Mike, he says. I think Dan is afraid that this little daily bit I do, is the best part of his show, and the main reason why people tune in. Well, there may or may not be some truth to that. Danny Boy doesn't really have to be so insecure. He's a talented man himself. And I'm sure if he didn't run Everyone's Entitled to Mike Magnotti's Opinion, people would still watch his show. Some people. His relatives, maybe. Maybe. Well, this is Mike Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Somewhere behind these doors is a family member, often alone, taking care of a loved one with Alzheimer's or some other disability, or providing care for a loved one who is not ill but only aging and no longer able to care for themselves. In the field of caregiving, this is the home front. For the home is where most Americans will live out their last days. Contact Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington for a variety of services including caregiving, meals, and medication help.
Some of life's best moments happen at home. Morning coffee in the kitchen, family dinners around the table, quiet evenings at the end of a long day. For 100 years, Boswell's Home Furnishings has been part of those moments. helping generations create homes filled with comfort, quality, and care. As Boswell celebrates a century in business, we simply want to say thank you for making us part of your story. Boswell's Home Furnishings. It's closer than you think.
Slide and surf all summer long. Soundwave Saturdays, more than a surf park, it's the summer scene. Grab a drink and enjoy live music every Saturday in July and August. Slide Waters in Lake Chelan. Don't miss it.
All right, give it up for Doc Severinsen and the NBC Orchestra. They'll be opening mic for Ruth Buzzy at the Golden Nugget in State Line, Nevada this weekend. Doc and the band will.
Do you have any idea what this guy's talking about?
You remember the Tonight Show?
Yes, I do. Okay, I mean,
a-
but I never stayed up to watch it.
Yeah.
I would watch snippets later and that kind of thing, you know, so.
That was a treat when I was a kid to be able to stay up late and watch
Hey,
Johnny.
I need to pass on a message.
Oh, first of all, everybody, my guest does not need any introduction at all. It's Mike.
I want to be introduced.
Okay.
I mean, come on. I
Here's
deserve
Mike
an introduction.
Magnotti, host of Street Talk and Other Stuff, which airs live every Monday morning at 10 a.m. and then throughout the rest of the week. If you have a half hour to kill, it's worth your time. Now you can...
I was going to say, I'm passing along a message from Jamie Dunnigan, Matthew Pippin, and almost everyone in the cast of crew of 1776, which opens this Friday night. Almost everyone wishes you their best luck. God bless you in
Thank
your
you.
retirement.
I
There's only
appreciate
one
that.
person who didn't, and that was me.
That was you, yeah.
I said, no, how are people going to know my opinion from now on? You're a quitter, okay?
We'll tune in
I
Friday.
mean, look,
We'll have fun.
I am 73. I retired from the police department 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm still out there.
Well, you
okay?
like to keep busy.
I do.
I knew that. I mean, I knew you when you retired. I knew you before you retired.
Yeah.
His retirement party, by the way, was one wing ding. I won't forget.
It was a cool party. Yeah.
But you have to keep busy, and you do keep busy.
I do.
So we talked. You mentioned 1776.
Yes.
How's it going?
It's going
Opening
good.
night is Friday.
Yeah, it opens up Friday night and runs 3 weekends, I believe. But you go to Numerica Pack, but make sure you go there for your tickets, okay? Make sure you're at the Numerica Pack site because there's other people out there that are scamming people.
Yeah.
You know, but tonight's the first dress rehearsal. We worked with the orchestra last night. Music is great. I mean, this is really a surprise musical. It's not real famous, but there's some really cool stuff in it. And it's going to be a good show. By Friday, we're going to have it down. We're going to have it tight. Come see 1776.
How close of it? How much of this show parallels the movie?
I don't know.
Oh,
I've
you've
never seen the movie.
Okay.
No, I don't like that. If I'm in a show, I try to avoid any other exposure to a movie or play because I don't want to copy what somebody else has done. I want to be kind of unique. But yeah, no, I've never seen the movie. I don't know. You know, I've heard the movie's not that good.
Well, the music is pretty good, and of course the music is fairly intact for what you're going to see come Friday. But the acting was a little wooden.
Okay.
It was. I mean, this is supposed to take place in 1776, and there was some contemporary idioms that were being used that kind of went, oh. You know, I don't think that guy wore a watch.
I have to restrict myself from knuckle bumps or high fives.
Yeah.
You know?
Or wristwatches.
Yeah.
Things like that. This is why your hair is the way it is.
Yeah. When I was in, oh boy, this was back before the Christmas season, around the Christmas season. Jamie Dunnigan had contacted me and said, "Look, there's this part that would work for you. Would you play?" And so I said yes. I mean, I got huge respect for Jamie, great guy. I was honored to be asked, really, in all honesty. And then he just said to me, "Don't cut your hair." So I didn't. Well, I looked up my character, who was Stephen Hopkins from Rhode Island, and Stephen had long, stringy hair. He was a Mormon. Mine's not quite going to get there. Okay, I've been letting it grow. I'm growing it as fast as I can.
So this is from December? You haven't cut your hair
I
since
haven't cut my
December.
hair since December.
So you get it because I like it. It's about as long as
I'm gonna let it keep growing. I want to go back to my hippie days.
Yeah, and you were a hippie.
I was, indeed.
Yeah, back in the late
And
60s,
I still
early
am.
70s.
I like to say you can take the boy out of the hippies, but you can't take the hippie out of the boy.
Does your wife approve of this?
My wife just loves me. Okay, I mean anything I do.
You didn't answer my question.
No, I think she kind of likes it. Okay. Yeah, she never really liked it when I did the buzz cut, but I did it because it was so easy, you know. But I think she thinks the longer hair is okay, but she is going to tell me to go get it trimmed or whatever. Now, I have not been to a barber in like 20 years, literally.
Well, you're follically challenged to begin with. There's no reason to.
That's right.
But I do like it.
I'm liking it. I'm liking it, you know.
I'm glad you're keeping it.
Yeah.
I really am.
Right.
So rehearsals are going good. Everybody's ready to give us a good show.
We will be
on
Friday
August
night,
nights.
yes.
Right, Friday night. Talk about, we talked about this off camera when we were getting mic'd up and everything. Your first dress rehearsal is tonight.
Yes.
And dress rehearsal is unlike any other rehearsal because now things start getting a little serious now.
Well, see, because this one, I mean, we are wearing much different clothes than usual. I mean, most of the other shows, I'm trying to think, West Side Story, just a little bit. I wore a fedora, but this one, we're going back to 1776. Long coats. My costume, since I'm a Mormon, I'm sorry, not a Mormon, I'm a Quaker, is somewhat drab. Some of these, the costumes that, that the costume people have put together, I mean, are incredible. They're beautiful. Mine is not so much.
Is there a warehouse full of costumes that is either owned by Music Theater of Wenatchee or that everybody has access to for alterations?
Music Theater does have a huge costume room, okay? Right. Jamie also has, I mean, this is Jamie's business to go and do, folly shows and these things. He's got costumes. I think all of these that we are wearing had to be specifically made for this show.
Because I went back and looked, and we don't have anything, be it Music Theater or Jamie or any local production that takes place in that general time period where you would have.
I think all the costumes are original for this show. Cheryl Sutherland, and forgive me for not knowing everybody on the costume crew, but you were going to be amazed. Great costumes, great job, and some heavyweight actors too.
Yeah, please talk about who's got the leads.
Matthew Pippin, Ernest Palmer.
Yeah.
Oh boy, Dave.
So Dave. Mike has a great memory. It just isn't very long.
I'm freaking 73 years old. I can't remember this. But we've got a handful of new people who've never done anything. Meg Sanders is in it. Meg is actually going to be my guest today on Street Talk Show. But yeah, we've got some really, really good people in this show.
The Wenatchee theater community has a lot of veterans who've done a lot of shows. Yes. Matthew jumps immediately to mind, but there are others as well. But there's more young blood, younger professionals, people vested in the Valley. They're going to stay here, and they're into theater. So that momentum, that incredible amount of momentum that we've had over the last 20 years continues.
Yeah, Skylar Cutler, Kevin McKee. Now that I'm not thinking about it, these names are popping back up in my head.
So you're not too concerned about the future of live theater around here, are you?
No, I mean, actually, it's growing. When Kevin McKee was president of Music Theater, he started working so that we could build a larger season. Because Music Theater has, in the past, pretty much focused on musicals.
Specifically the Apple Blossom musical.
Specifically the Apple Blossom, okay. But there's people like me who don't particularly like musicals.
Well, you can't sing.
Actually, yes, I can.
Oh, I've heard you
It's
sing.
a long story. It's a long story. Not long, but... So he's trying to expand the season so we can do more straight plays and comedies. Like next year, our season, the first... Christmas is going to be a straight play. It's a Wonderful Life, an adaptation of the movie. The first play of next year, Josie, our own Josie Meeks, is going to be directing Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. I don't know what's in between, but then in June, Meg Sanders is going to be directing a comedy called The Dead Man's Cell Phone. And I'm not sure what else. But I don't even know what next year's Apple Blossom musical is.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, it will be good. Rosie said, "Are you going to try out for it?" I said, "No, I'm not." So
back in the day, in my youth, the Apple Blossom musical, there was the 5 or 6 that they just rotated in and out. They were terribly popular. They never, ever not sold out a show. I'm talking Music Man, Fiddler on the Roof, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, The Sound of Music, Oklahoma. These were the staples, and that's what they did back in the 60s and 70s and right on into the 80s. But change is good, and the fact that they're making things. What's the word? They're not just digging out the great hits.
They're going for variety, bringing up new stuff, because there is a lot of good stuff, if you like musicals, on the market and available. And forgive me for not knowing what next year's Apple Blossom show is, but you can do a little research and find out. Go to mtw.org and
Mike mentioned this, and this is not only a problem with the Numerica Performing Arts Center, but the Town Toyota Center as well. If you just Google it, the first thing that's going to show up on your Google page ain't going to be the tickets. It's not going to be the ticket site.
No.
And some folks have made some pretty heavy money selling people tickets for way more than they should be sold for.
And some of them are bogus.
And it's a scam. Some of it is a scam. You want to take the complete guesswork out of it, go to the Numerica Performing Arts Center box office.
It's not that hard. Well, if you go to Numerica PAC, if you just punch that in, you will bring you'll go right to it. It's fairly simple. But yeah, you got to be careful. Well, they do that for other things too, computer repair. A couple times I've hit sites that I thought were for Dell and they weren't. They were something else, and you got to be smart like me to get out of that.
You've been writing for Substack. You have your own column now. It's free.
I do.
What's been your feedback on that?
It's been good. I mean, my readership has been growing. I mean, every day I see somebody saying you got a new subscriber on Substack. But it's been an interesting experience. I started doing it when the newspaper changed their format for the opinion page and my column wasn't in there anymore. I think this may be better because I may get more readership. People did, but I get a lot of people who are in the background. Remember how President Nixon used to talk about the silent majority? There's a lot of people out there who feel similarly the way some of us do. And a day, well, maybe not a day, maybe 4 or 5 times a week, somebody will come up to me and say, hey, who I don't know, say, hey, I read your stuff, I really appreciate it. So yeah, I'm getting good feedback. Also, I get some negative feedback as well. Not so much to my face, though.
The primary is 1 week from today.
Yes, it is.
It's August 4th, and this is a primary election. It's an off-year election, I know that, but this is a primary election
very
all over north central Washington that people need to pay attention to.
Very important, okay? Okay, now, all right, is it okay if I get a little controversial here?
Mike Magnotti is going to give an opinion.
Okay, there are a group of folks in this community who could be classified and do classify themselves as Christian nationalists. I'm a Christian, been a long time. Christian nationalism is neither Christian nor American. And these people, their intent is to bring dominion over the rest of us. They state that. As a matter of fact, Great City School, that's their motto. The school they have is dominion. They want to impose their religious values, and notice I'm not saying Christian values, they're saying their religious values on the rest of us. So it's interesting because my family would fit into their category of family. Rosie and I have been married almost 50 years, love each other, good kids. But you take somebody like people in your family, relatives of mine, both people who are trans and gay, and other people who don't fit the criteria that these Christian nationalists said. When they say family, they do not mean these people, and they intend to impose their dominion on our society. For example, one thing was to eliminate the possibility for gay people to get married. Okay, they want to cut that out. They want
that ship sailed. The Supreme Court signed off on that.
I agree with that, I know, but what they're saying, and Adam James has said this specifically, Olympia is under demonic control. Now, I don't think much of Bob Ferguson, okay? But to say that he is a servant of Satan, I mean, that is absurd, okay? But this is what these people are pushing. So be careful who you vote for, okay? I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a libtard. I'm basically conservative, and this is what these folks who are the MAGAites, they can't understand that a person who's fairly, well, I'm not even going to say fairly, reasonably intelligent, okay, is pretty conservative, can honestly look at the current federal administration and what these Christian nationalists are doing and oppose it. But they can't let that go by without labeling somebody like me as a libtard, as woke, as a Democrat. None of these things, which I would say I would be woke. Okay.
A little piece of advice, because we're running out of time, that came from my mom, who had more common sense than you and I and about 100 other people put together.
She was quite a woman.
She was an incredible woman, my mother. Her advice was this. When you vote, regardless of the issue or whether it's a primary or a school bond or a general election, says when you vote, when you cast your ballot, you need to act like they're only going to count your ballot.
Yeah,
they're going to take all the ballots. They're going to take the 41,000 ballots that the auditor is going to get. They're going to throw them all out and find Dan Kuntz's. And that's the attitude you need to have when you vote. And I've had that carried with me for quite some time. Mike, we got to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to do the weather forecast. I'll let you briefly preview today's Street Talk show.
Okay,
all right?
I will do that, sure.
Mike Mad Dog Magnotti making his very first appearance here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. The forecast is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCP Life channel.
Affordable power is the heart of what we do as your public utility. But we don't stop at offering some of the lowest rates in the nation. Through local partnerships, discount and assistance programs, our staff works with residents every day to keep the power on. And now, we're offering 25% bill discounts for customers who need it most. To see if you qualify, visit chelanpud.org/discounts.
Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous Farmers Market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
Caught in a conflict? Family, workplace, neighbor, business, housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
All right, back with Mike Mad Dog Magnotti. Let's go to the phone lines. Hello, you're on the air with Mike. What's your question?
There is no question. Okay.
This is not a. We have no phone-in show.
There's no call-in show.
I apologize for that. Right. Street Talk and other stuff comes up at 10 o'clock this morning. Who do you got?
Meg Sanders. Okay. Meg is one of the actors in 1776. She is a co-founder of the Full Circle Theater Company. She's done a ton of other stuff, okay? I mean, much too much for me to list today. She writes a regular column in, Ron Evans's paper, The Comet.
Yep.
Wonderful actress. I mean, the first time I saw her in anything, I was blown away because very believable, does a very good job. But she is in 1776, but I want to talk about her as somebody you should know, but I want to keep promoting the show because Wenatchee, you wait till the show starts until you hear stuff, then you buy your tickets. Excuse me. And Hot August Night shows sell out.
Yeah.
So get your tickets.
Yeah, it's a Hot August Nights production, and it's a more intimate gathering, I guess is the best way to put it.
The way it's set up is great.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, they got the stage set up great where the people sit. There's no sight lines. It's going to be a problem. They got these good risers where you're going to be able to see real well.
Nothing beats seeing Mike close up in person. From the National Weather Service, let's take a look at your forecast. It's actually not bad at all. We got clean air. We don't have a red flag warning. We don't have a fire weather watch. This looks to be a pretty good week to get a little get a toehold on some of these area fires. Of course, you got the little giant fire up above in the Antioch drainage there by Lake Wenatchee. That's causing some issues, but not bad at all. 89 today, a little breezy tonight, 63 for the overnight low. Sunshine tomorrow, 86. Our normal high is 90. A little windy on Tuesday night. We'll call it breezy. It shouldn't be too strong, too bad at all. 87 Wednesday, 92 Thursday, 95 Friday. They're a little concerned about Saturday. It's still going to be warm, but we're going to see maybe a pretty good dose of wind come Saturday. We're still under the influence of that dry cold front, by the way, that came in over the weekend, which made things quite comfortable. And the one thing it did do was clear out the skies, and I'm all for that. Mike, break a leg, my friend.
Thank you.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.
Later.
Yep.